If your Parmi in Australia doesn't come out with gravy, that's a fucking criminal offense in my opinion. I cried editing it because...
This is Aidan, editor for Yes Theory, one of the world's biggest YouTube channels. He's a filmmaker and a man with a burning passion for connecting budding creatives from Australia to the world.
Oh dude, yeah, I love this shit.
Aidan is a big fan of beer.
Fuck, I love a Stoner Wood, bro.
That's why we're taking him on a journey to discover the finest beer and food pairings. Australia is built on migration. It's a melting pot of cultures. The beer and bite combo takes many forms across this city. Along this journey, there's one question we want to answer. How has growing up in Australia shaped Aidan's identity as a creative, second-gen immigrant and someone rediscovering his heritage?
You split it?
I fucked it.
Too thirsty?
Oh, too thirsty. We'll have a redemption round. I try to get it to like the middle of the half when I see the middle of the half, but I saw the bottom of the half for that. You can only drink a Guinness in a Guinness glass. If you get it in a fucking pint glass, that's not right. But you want to split it right between the G. So sitting on the G. Here, animate this in post. It needs to sit on that. This is my #1 beer the whole of winter because it just sits well in your stomach.
Round 1, starting at the local pub, just about as Aussie as you can get.
So imagine like a super cold winter's day, you've fucking been pumping the edits all day.
Yeah.
Describe the feeling of that first sip of Guinness.
Fucking, bro, Harry Potter, this is so niche, but like Harry Potter scene where they're in Hogwarts, there's this specific camera shot. It's in the Prison of Azkaban one where that like zooms in and all the Dementors are outside, but then it scans into the room and they're like in a warm fireplace. That is my feel. That's so
That's
niche.
the feeling.
That's my feeling of having a Guinness.
That's fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
Aidan's first combo,
Thank you.
a Guinness and a Parmi. The chicken Parmigiano. After arriving in Australia with Italian migrants, over decades, it's been adopted as a pub classic and a true Aussie staple.
If your Parmi in Australia doesn't come out with gravy, that's a fucking criminal offense in my opinion.
Paired with a Guinness, now we've got Italy and Ireland side by side on one table.
And I call it a Parmi. But I heard a pretty good debate with Parmi and Parma because it's like it's a chicken Parmigiana, right? Yeah. But then there's spaghetti, there's rigatoni, but then there's lasagna, which is a Parmigiana. Salad is actually really fucking good.
Walk us through the journey from when you started to now.
If you really wind this all the way back, when I was a kid, you know, when like in year 7, you like kind of write what you want to be when you're older. I have this plaque at home and it's like YouTuber, and around it was like all my favorite YouTubers when I was a kid, and I was like, I want to be a YouTuber. And
Who's there?
Mike Troney, Casey Neistat. For me, like YouTube was always something I really gravitated towards because growing up in Springfield Lakes, which is so far away in Brisbane, 40 minutes away from the CBD, you're like, you guys probably can feel the same, like in Canberra, you're like, fuck, I wish I could do this, you know? And the internet was such a beautiful way to feel connected to the world.
How do you mentally process so much footage and also at times very emotional footage as well?
For me, it's like when I get 16 hours to 20 hours of raw footage and I'm like, okay, I've got to articulate this into the 20-minute story. I really kind of break it down like a marathon. It's pretty funny. It's like we segment things. So for example, for a whole day, I'll be like, okay, I'm going to edit the intro predominantly. It takes me a whole day to edit an intro, by the way. And then the next day I might get completely changed because we have multiple editors and we kind of work on different time zones. So 3 editors will edit in the day. We'll do the rough cutting, and then after that, the other 2 editors will cycle what we just did. So it's just a constant loop. Regarding your second part of your question, the emotional side, that is the hardest part. We edited this video where a subscriber had a house in, it was a place that got bombed in Syria, and she was a subscriber, and she hasn't been to her, I think it was her grandpa's house since she was a kid, and she grew up in this house, like going there. And we have like the raw footage of like seeing this place just like after the war that's been happening recently, just like raw footage of just like crazy shit that you would not have access to. And I think that was mentally jarring for me. And that was a story that I'm like, wow, like this is, dude, I cried editing it because there was this one segment I had to edit one of the prison episodes, which was, it was like the last part of the video, and it's like the most, it's called Zendaya prison, and that was like the last segment that was kind of the biggest part of the edit. And then I had to look through raw footage from Reddit, which was so bad. and then because they don't censor shit on there, and then I had to censor the shit on Reddit, which was hard. And I just rabbit holed because I was curious, and then I was like, oh, this is fucked. The fact that I'm watching this shit now, but it's very inspiring. Like when we upload a video like that, like we'll read the comments, and I'm like, whoa, like we're changing people's lives, and it's like these are human things we're dealing with, and people don't realize this is going on in the world. Especially me, like I didn't know a lot of things, and then when I looked into it, I was like, bro, this is ridiculous. To edit for a global scale company that inspires millions, you have to really understand like cadence, which means like you have to really know how to pace yourself. Like literally using this in a running term, you have to know how to pace yourself. If we have a big day and it's a very emotional day, we'll all take a break, take a step back, and then there's some edits where we feel the momentum's like it's going. Like right now we're editing this video and we finish it in a week, and that's like it's a massive video, but we feel like it's going. But it's good to know your cadence in who you are as an editor.
Round 1, done. Off to round 2.
We are round 2, baby.
This is Thai barbecue, so maybe we'll go mu bing. Mu bing is pork.
Yummy. Thank you. All right, gentlemen, here we are, second spot and the dream. Let's fucking go. Glug. What is the water on the side, you reckon?
The grill is called a mukata, literally pork pan, a Thai-style barbecue that emerged from the northeastern Isan region. It blends hot pot and Korean barbecue styles.
This is a secret hole in the wall in the heart of Melbourne CBD. We are in a beautiful place called Aung, right next to where I hosted my very first From Media event. We were hungry and we walked down this alleyway and we bumped into it.
There's a reason beer and barbecue go hand in hand. The smoky char of grilled meats meets the crisp bites of a cold beer. One balances the other. Aidan's the extrovert's extrovert.
You love connecting with people, you love connecting people to people. Where's that come from?
So why I thought about this, where it literally comes from is my mum and dad, when they raised me, everyone has like Filipino friends, we're all very loud, we're like having fun, we love singing karaoke, we love just laughing. And it really stems out of my childhood. I really thought about this, I journaled about it, where when I grew up, I had my mum and dad around me. When they'd host parties, they'd invite all the cousins, everyone would be there. There'd be like 50 people in one room. 12 of my cousins from Sydney will be here. Like we'll just all be in one space, but it was a place to accommodate that no one leaves the house like being unfed or just like any sense of that, right?
Culturally, what was it like growing up in Brizzy? Like a very, very Aussie place, you know? As an Asian Australian, in the creative world as well. Yeah, how was it navigating that?
See, the thing is, I went to a predominantly all white boy Christian school, which is very, very interesting because it was when you're 12 to 18 in school, there is a part of your life where you're really know your identity or you're really confused. So it's like confusion versus isolation. And I think a big part of finding yourself in school, everyone goes through this if you go to school, you either fit in school really well or you don't fit in school really well. I feel like I fit in really well, but I think early on into my early adolescence, which was in year 6 to 7, I had my first hand of racism in a school, which was crazy. It was this guy literally saying to me I was running up the stairs in year 7 and he pushes me, and he was a guy, I was in year 6, he was in year 7, and he pushes me and he goes, "Move out of the way, you Asian cunt." And that I remember that because I was body shocked, bro. And it was a white guy, his name was Nathan, bro. I remember this distinctively. Fuck Nathan, bro. And that being a second gen immigrant, that stays with you, bro. Racism stays with you no matter what. And that was my first interaction of feeling confused because I was why do I feel this? Went home to my dad and my mum and I thought about this really thoroughly at the age of 25 now. I had this conversation with my parents and my dad, I was to my dad, I dealt with this guy said this to me at school. My dad got super defensive. And he was there's one rule, Aidan, if anyone is ever racist to you, you can tell us anytime. And that made me feel very hurt as a child because I was oh shit, this is a thing. Early adolescence to adulthood is the hardest. See, so 0 to 3, the youngest one, the infant stage, I only remember one memory. And that was I was in the corner of my mum's room and it was all my aunties squeezing my cheeks. So this stage of your life is called mistrust and trust. So I grew up with a lot of trust because that's a healthy upbringing. where if you really think about your earliest memory, you'll know. And then from 3 to 5, I don't remember anything. Like I literally wrote down nothing because I had to sit there and think. I don't remember anything.
Round 2 done, off to round 3.
Yeah, Jjigae and a Cass.
Oh, done.
Cheers, boys. Day in the life. John. Gombe. This is a feel good for me. It's just, it hits so hard in winter.
Kimchi jjigae, one of Korea's most beloved comfort foods. A bubbling stew of kimchi, pork, and tofu. As we dug into this classic Korean combo, we asked Aidan to give us some insight into his own Filipino food culture.
Filipino food, wow, that's a whole different divide in itself. It's I made a video about Filipino food, how Filipino food is passed generationally on remixed meals. We're colonized by China, we're colonized by China and Spain. There's a lot of remixes in our food. We use a lot of sweet, we use a lot of sour, we use a lot of different iterations of vegetables and meats from all different countries. There's not one staple on it. We just have such a diverse range of food. And I think that's the best thing about Filipino food. It's so diverse. It's very diverse, dude. To describe it for me, it's like home. My mum and dad taught me how to cook. But typically, actually, where you're from in the Philippines determines who cooks. So I learned this thing recently where I'm from, the males cook in the family, which is really cool because I love cooking. Where my dad's from Marikina, which is up north, and my mom's from Manila. But my friend Trisha told me that like her mom, I think her mom cooks or something. But I have my sinigang dish is generationally passed down from my grandma's mom. So it's like I'm the 5th gen. I'm the 5th gen. Yeah, I think it's just like my mom always lies. She's always like, it's made with love, but it's just like, the way we make it is very specific to us. It's very simple. We don't measure anything. We just kind of just do it by eye, everything by eye. A big thing that we really, really try to say in the Philippines is that Filipino food is our love language. You know, it's our literal love language. When we want to cook food for you, that's us inviting you into our life. It's us inviting you into who we are, representation of our culture. Well, that's a very Southeast Asian thing too. Very, very Southeast Asian thing. Vietnamese, Thai, the whole lot, man. I'm gonna buy a couple flavors for the guys, but this is what you have with beer. Also, I love how they really highlight. If you have any Filipino friends, high cholesterol's a big thing. This is what you get. You get this one. If someone's like really cheeky, you say "ang kulit mo," which means like you're cheeky. I get that a lot. My mom used to always say to me "ang buisit mo," which means you're so annoying.
We stepped into Aidan's kitchen as he prepared us a childhood favorite.
Everyone has that meal at home where they just like reminds them of where they began, where they started, you know? This is mine. You haven't had banana milk?
No.
What?
This one.
Bro. But it's just in our blood, bro. We're passionate. I made a video about love bombing, being a Filipino that loves bombs. And it's an actual universal thing, man. We love so deeply and we yearn, you know, we yearn for a lot of things. A very Filipino thing that I'm trying to figure out. When we get heartbroken or we break up, we like think about it for a very long time. Don't know why, but it's in our blood, bro. Maybe it's in our ancestors. I have no clue. So I'm trying to go back to the Philippines more. Ooh, sobrang sarap. You know what that means? Fuck, this is yum.
Spamsilog. Filipino spam and rice.
Filipino staple.
Born from the American occupation of the Philippines, when canned goods like Spam flooded the island, Filipinos took something foreign and made it their own.
I'm a sort of a side sauce guy. Fine dining, bro.
In a multicultural society, identity is never just one thing. It's stories carried through migration, shared in community, and mixed into something new. For so many of us, food is that bridge, reminding us that who we are is shaped not only by where we came from, but by the cultures we meet along the way.
That garlic, bro.
Bruh. You gotta douse it in tomato sauce, bro.